welcome back to my channel. In this video we will be fixing My Kazuha. He has been a character I wanted to build for a really long time, as I've owned him for a long time, and I'm happy to finally start actually working on him, as I want to get him to be useful in my Arlequinio team. So let's get started. First things first, we need to obviously level up his weapon, as his weapon is level 60 and I want to get it to level 80. He has no artifacts on except one viridescent flower, which is not good, so we're obviously going to be farming for his artifact set. He has no constellation and his talents are really low, so I do want to level those up, especially his skill and his burst. First thing is first is his weapon, as I want to get his weapon to level 80 to match his level. I do plan to level him to 90, but that will take time, so it's slowly going to be to level 90. His weapon domain isn't open, so I can't max it out to the level that I want, so we're obviously going to see if I can do something else. I can level up his talents, which is always a good sign to getting more progress. And I obviously want to get some of his other stuff ready, mainly his artifacts, as I do have my resin capped. Levels on that note, sorry, excuse me about the levels. On that note, videos might come a little slower than obviously what most of you guys are used to, as I'm going to be going to college soon, as I live in the US, so we go to college, which is, you know, just how things are, but I promise I will try to upload as much as I can. I did post on my community tab that I will have I do want to plan to make a Yaimiko video for you guys soon when I do get her, but I hope that I get her before the banners go away, as this video will be coming out when Sandrone and Sit Lolly should be on banners, as I take forever to edit. But when Miko does come out, I promise that I will make a video on her first things first, so you all can watch it, and as I finally have a new character to build, which is always fun. Well, we're gonna finish up his talents, at least to get to the level that I want them to be, which is going to be 8, which is going to be 8 for his skill, 8 for his burst. And this is next thing we're going to be working on is domain. The last time I farmed Viridescent was a long time ago when I was a big Jean main, which is crazy to think that I'm building a character like Kazuha in 2026, as it's been a very long time since he was, and considered to be in the meta. This part of me actually fighting this domain will obviously be sped up, as no one wants to watch the VV domain over and over again, as this domain is pretty simple as already. However, obviously I'm using my freeze team instead of a physical attacker, as my Eula is not built, but we make do with what we have, okay? We are back from fighting his domain. I have a couple artifacts that I want to see if they're okay. I know he has a flower right now and a plum, but obviously I'll have to work on, the other artifacts later, like a sand, a goblet, and a circlet. But for now, we have a flower and a plum. So let's start leveling up the plum, which actually has really good stats. For Kazuha, you really want to focus on an EM and ER, really, and a little bit of crit damage and crit rate, but like mostly EM and ER, which obviously right now this plum went amazingly, getting us 2 drops in EM and a stat in ER2 as well. That is all for this day, which tomorrow we will continue working on getting his artifacts and maybe a little bit of his talents. I'm still unsure, but I will obviously get his weapon figured out as well, as long as with his artifacts. The artifacts I know for sure will take me a very long time, but I am so down to continue to work on Kazuha, as I'm really excited to see him in action with my Arlequinio. So I'll see you all tomorrow. We are back, and today we're going to be focusing on his weapon and leveling that up to 80, and hopefully also working on his artifacts again as well. So let's get started. Be my first time really fighting this weapon domain, as I've actually never fought this weapon domain, at least enough to build a character. I get the drops from exploring and also story quests. They give the drops sometimes as well, so I don't really get a lot of like the drops like that. But either way, this domain was actually way easier than I thought it would be, which is kind of crazy and funny, as I thought this weapon domain would be really hard. I don't know. Anytime it's a scenario domain, I have like little faith in my characters and in myself because of how annoying scenario is sometimes. Which, on the note, these drops were so generous, as I got enough to craft the stuff that I need to actually level up his weapon. Now we are just gonna level up his weapon to, I think we were able to get it to either 70 or 80. I don't actually remember, but I'm hoping we are able to get it to 80 this time, as I was. Okay, so I'm able to get his weapon up to 80, and obviously we have to work on talents again, but who really cares about talents right now, as they're not too important. I don't know about you guys, but once I hit AR 60, I was running desperately out of Mora and rocks and books, which is crazy. Books, I knew that was coming. I don't like to farm books like that in the first place, and anytime I have to get books, I usually get it from the teapot or from events. So yeah, plus I don't build a lot of characters as well. I decided to use the rest of my condensed resin at the VV domain again, because we still need artifacts for Kazuha, but this time, instead of boring you all to watching the actual gameplay, I'm just gonna skip ahead to when we have enough to at least level up some artifacts or put some new ones on, because I had actually better luck this time, and I actually got some sands, which were really good, and now I still need a goblet, a circlet, and which is kind of hard. He really needs like an EM focus heavily build, which sucks because I hate EM. I build Nihida, Llama, like I built so many characters who needed EM, and it was annoying. That plum was one of the best plums I had in a minute. To get 2 ER and 2 EM in one, it was fantastic. His flower also went really well too, as I got a crit rate and crit damage and EM, but we mainly again want to focus on EM, so hopefully we get a circlet and better stuff soon. And that is all for today. Again, we will work on Kazuha. This time, instead of actually showcasing, I'm gonna actually work on his artifacts on my own time, and then come back to when his artifacts are to my liking or stuff that I need to fix later on. We are back, and in this part of the video, I'm going to be showcasing the final build for my Kazuha. I still need to work on a little bit of his ER, but for now, we have a pretty decent build for him. Let's start showing off the stats. He has 729 EM and 155% ER, which is pretty low, but it's good for now. He is rocking a 3-piece Viridescent set, as I could not get a good goblet or sands, which It's fine. It's something that I have to work on my own time. His talents are 6 and 8 and 8, which I might continue to work on my own. Who knows? That is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon when I drop my next video. I hope you have a good day. Bye!